What's up, everybody? How you doing? Markets are sitting right on the threshold of life-changing gains. We've got some more data that we're going to be covering today. Let's go ahead and get into the vibes. Let's go ahead and get into the music. Let's go ahead and get into hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, dinging the bell. We're going to be getting going here in just a moment. I hope you're all feeling good. Hope you're looking good. Hope your portfolios are in the green. Let's find those opportunities, those last opportunities before the biggest gains. We're getting going here in just a moment.
Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin to flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish out there. It's not our fault. Blame the cult. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin, pumping, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We are hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as
Bitcoin, pump, altcoin, pump.
we are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't
flight
nobody
to
tell me
quality.
nothing. Bitcoin, pump.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
I'm ready. Are you ready? Everybody, hit that like button. Drop a 1 in chat if you're ready to jump into these charts, see what's going on in this market, making sure we're prepared. Let's get it. What is up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. We got to jump right into it. My name's Kelly Kellum. Welcome to BitLab Academy. Shout out to this stream being brought to you by Arculus. And of course, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Also, a special shout out to another channel partner, Galactics. We got that $100 USDT giveaway. I'm going to be bringing that up for you again because we're drawing tomorrow, so everybody needs to get in on that. What is going on right now in Bitcoin? We're seeing it not only break out of this basically symmetrical triangle here, coming back, testing, pushing up. Look at all this volume. The bulls wanted this to happen because the volume agreed. This is what we want to see on a move like this when it's coming down into a zone, flipping this previous resistance to support, launching up, and just hugging. Look at this, rejection, now breakout and test. We are on the precipice of that next big absolute omega god candle, all the way up, up and away. But let's zoom out. Let's not just look at these 1 hour time frames. This is a weekly time frame. Remember, this is a previous halving back here, May 11th, 2020, and we saw this sideways price action. Everybody forgets about this mode. They only want this right here. They only want the parabola, which is up, up, and away. Well, you got to build that foundation so you have a springboard for the price to actually get that launch. And that is exactly what's happening right here. We're getting that springboard built right now. We've had such a wonderful bull trend coming up into the zone. I mean, look at this just after that sell-off from the ETF. And we're sitting right now roughly in the range of the previous all-time high, getting ready to absolutely moon. Does that mean we cannot have a correction first? You have to be ready and prepared if we do get a washout to the downside, because that will be one of the last best opportunities you're going to get in this crypto market to ride this up into Valhalla. But when we look at this, let's go out on the 6 hour chart. Oops, excuse me there. Let's just go ahead and look at this. We have the initial target here. It's about 74,000. And I just want to zoom out in here and show you something. If we were to stretch this across this zone, if we get up in here, we'll be basically also breaking previous all-time high. This tells me that if price action does push up into the zone, it's not going to go most likely straight through this previous all-time high. It'll likely hit and have some resistance right there at this level, and then hopefully consolidate and push through. If we do get a rejection here, it's not the end of the world. We may consolidate up right in this point. We may push up instead of consolidating, push up and have this test down somewhere in this region or even all the way back down to here before we get the move. The market right now is ripe to absolutely rip people's faces off if you are trading with a lot of leverage. And I got some signals that we're going to be sharing here in just a moment. We're going to be covering a couple other coins on this stream as well: Render, Fetch, Near, Tau, and a couple Ethereum, of course. But let's go ahead and go through some of the things we want to talk about. We're sitting here. Let's go ahead and refresh. $2.65 trillion. This is not just some random investment. This is the next wave of not only finance, but also the integration of new technology in every system of life that we have. That's why right now I just want to re-emphasize we are so early. The fear and greed index on the broad scale that takes into account everything, not the FOMO one that Josh put out, I like better because it is more of the retail, but this is just looking generally at the market as well as institutions. This is not overheated, and we're sitting here at previous all-time high levels, just fighting for that launch to go to the upside. Shout out to everybody that is here in the room early. We got Jason S., Ruzba, Donato Cabrera, Alexandra G., our OG here in the #1 mod in crypto. Sufficient enough, as well as quite a few other people here. I just wanted to shout everybody out. But we're not looking overheated yet, but we do have other signals that do hint at a potential cautionary tale, which we're going to get into. But we're seeing Ethereum still not over 4,000. But I think once we rip through 4,000, 4,200, we're going to start seeing things go off to the races. BNB still holding up at 708. Solana still right in those 170s, mid 170s. XRP still same sort of level, 52. Dogecoin, wait, where did Cardano go? Oh, there it is. Down here at 46 cents. I thought it dropped off. It's because I usually have this on the watch list, which, as you can see, when I do that, it's right next to XRP because it filters out some of the other ones I don't really pay attention to. But let's go ahead and continue on with what we want to talk about. Looking back at 2017, this is before that move. Yeah, remember 2017? It went all the way up to about $19,000. This was before that move happened. Look at the similarities of what we're seeing on these two levels. Let's go ahead and take my face off there so you can see it. But we have this move up, kind of double top, wash out to the downside, a move back up, consolidation right at the breakout line. And then once we broke out, boom, move up. Does that mean it's over? It's only bullish? No. You see this? So, I mean, people were like, oh my God, it had never been this. This was an all-time high, $2,800. Sell off, wrecked people. People sold out. And then the people that were looking long-term were able to then realize this all the way up into the $18,000, $19,000 range. And look at where we're at right now. Can you believe these? Look at these differences in prices. 1,390 to 71,500. This is where we're at right now on the precipice of that move. Is it going to happen today? Is it going to happen tomorrow? Well, let's look at the charts and figure it out. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other contextual things that are fueling what's going on here. Chandler Blankenship said, just hopped over from Discover Crypto Stream. Love the detail Kelly goes into. Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you that's here in the community. And I'm in the community with you guys. And I loved being at the Consensus Crypto Conference, running into so many different viewers, meeting people, networking with different projects and coin developers. And it's so good to be with all of you in person because it gets a little dry being here on camera all the time. But let's continue on with this data. We see this right here, $100,000 before presidential election. It feels like it likely could be sooner than that. But remember the chart that I shared yesterday. Let's come back over here, actually. Let's go to my page, Kelly Kellum. Make sure you're following me as well so you're not following any impersonators. Correct spelling, Kelly, Kellam. But this chart right here from, where'd it go? From our boy himself, Mr. Kevin Svensson. We have to pay attention to what's going on here because we may get $100,000 by the election. We may think it's going to happen sooner and only to get caught a little flat-footed because on this model that he shared, there's a likelihood that we go up into the 90, 91, 92, maybe 97. Maybe we don't hit 100. Maybe we get up in that region and then the price action does do a little bit of a reset back to 80 or 75. We'll have to play this as it goes. But then once that happens, much like this, much like that last chart we just saw with Stock Money Lizards, it's not just you break a thing and it's just straight up. You have the rise, retrace, continuation, retrace, probably low consolidation, continuation. So there's a lot on the cards right now for what's going on, but we're starting to see incredibly bullish signals from even the traditional finance world, because they're starting to get a clue about what this asset space means. Now, when we're looking further on, we can also see technically, this is from El Crypto Prof or Mustache here. I wasn't kidding when I said $88,000 next for Bitcoin, as I shared a week ago. And we're looking at this basically sort of a broadening wedge, flat top here, descending level of support, but this is what, getting wider. It's like a megaphone. It's going wider. It's not going closer. And these, very similar to descending wedges, these tend to break bullish, as you can see right here. This is a model, and we can see right here, as this is fighting this zone right here, we're looking for this move right here next. Are you guys bullish on that? Are you guys ready for this market to rip? Have you been waiting? Every single one of you, I'd love it if you just look right down below the video. Hit that like button. If it doesn't say subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Join us in the family here. Now, jumping back over into what we're looking at, we're going to get into the charts here in just a moment, but I got to give you some context because this is so gosh darn bullish. We cannot even comprehend what this means. The third biggest offshore Bitcoin and crypto exchange, Bybit, this is a massive exchange, has opened up registration to Chinese investors. They would not do this most likely. There's a very small percentage likelihood that this would happen outside of conversations with the CCP, with the Chinese government. There's something that's changing there. Remember, when we looked at Bitcoin, when we looked at last cycle, and we see, come back out to the weekly, and we see this zone right here. We see this sell-off. Boom, this was the Chinese mining ban. But now they've kind of changed things. We also have the Hong Kong spot ETFs, right? Approved. And now we're all the way up here and we're seeing stories like this. Where was it? Seeing stories like this, a leverage and spot crypto exchange opening up registration for the Chinese. This might signal something beyond our comprehension about the floodgates that are about to enter this space. This is very, very bullish in terms of price action and demand and volume of capital that's going to be moving into this space, because there are how many people are in China? Chinese population. Let's see. It's like 1.4 billion people. Now, of course, 1.4 billion people are not going to trade, but look at the analog of the percentage of U.S. residents, U.S. population, I should say, that actively involves themselves in crypto. Now, if you extrapolate that data and multiply the percentage of the U.S. investors, percentage of the U.S. population that is investors or traders in crypto, and then you use that as an analog looking at 1.4 billion, even if we got half of that, that would be hundreds of millions of new people entering the space, or at least having access to come into the space. So this is very bullish as to what those floodgates are going to be moving into this bull market. And we see right here, we're hitting that 17-day mark, which was the previous record for the number of days of positive, basically buying, outweighing selling in these Bitcoin spot ETFs. And in fact, it's been $3.65 billion of Bitcoin spot ETF buys in the last 17 days. I mean, look at this. We had a little bit of a dip here when it came down into the 28, but 48, 105, 886 million in one day, and then another $500 million yesterday. Things are getting spicy. I cannot even wait. And then we also see then on the broader context that's going to affect the risk narrative in markets, we're starting to see that capitulation from the European Central Bank and Canada starting to cut their interest rates. And this does have, everybody says, well, what's 0.25%? You talk about mortgages, you talk about housing loans, you talk about commercial real estate, you talk about the size of these investments or the debt that's being taken, right? And how much of an impact 0.25% has over the course of a 15-year loan, 20-year loan, 30-year loan, and so on. This is a major impact. It doesn't seem like it for most of us because we've never had a huge amount of capital. So we're like, screw it, 0.25%. But this is major. It may be signaling that we may be getting Jerome Powell and the Fed to start cutting rates here sooner than people were expecting. And remember, it is an election cycle year. And then let's get back to the bullishness of what's going on in this market. I said right here, zoomed out, Bitcoin shows monthly bull pennant set up with the target of $110,000. Look at this. We're so focused on the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, etc. But looking at the monthly setup, and we talked about the monthly, weekly, daily, all setting up for bullish setups yesterday. But looking just at this pattern, large bullish move, consolidation into a bull pennant, bull flag, and we've already started the breakout. The target on this is up here at $110,000. Would you guys be okay with $110,000 Bitcoin? It's starting to get prohibitively expensive, at least psychologically for the everyday person. But all of you are here first. You are here ahead of the institutions. Give yourself a double pat on the back and hit that like button for being ahead of the curve. So things are looking quite bullish. Then we come over here and we see Robinhood received a Wells notice from the SEC 1 month ago, then proceeded to purchase Bitstamp, which was one of the longest and oldest running crypto exchanges. $232.5 million in trading, 24-hour trading volume Bitstamp does. Seems like a big middle finger to the SEC and certainly a sign of conviction for the industry as a whole. So think about this. Robinhood, who's kind of embroiled in a lot of different things going on with the SEC, the Wells notice they got, potential nefarious action, but they're also tied in with Citadel, Ken Griffin, and other major players in this space. They're not going to make a $200 million investment in something unless they think it outweighs any potential regulation or slapdowns that they could potentially get from, you know, the likes of Gary Gensler and so on and so forth. This is the space to be in. And although they are traditionally more of a traditional asset access point trading app, they also, remember, they've been adding crypto over the course of the last couple of years, but now they're going to own a specific crypto exchange. This is bullish for the industry. It signals what traditional finance minds are thinking. Let's get a hold of every aspect in any way we can of things that are in assets. And I don't mean assets like the Bitcoin and coins themselves. I'm talking about real investment assets, like a company that specifically is an exchange that sells those. This is very, very bullish. And then we look at this chart here from Plan C. And if you look at this, he calls it the Bitcoin channel of dreams. This takes it to where this upper bound would roughly be if, and this, he actually sent me a message also. He said this would be if the top was early. Let's, for instance, like we had the actual cycle top in January of 2025, which is not that far away. Then that would signal a $213,000 top. Now, it feels lofty right now. Is it possible? Where do you think we land on this? Where do you think, every single one of you, type it in the live chat, comment down below this video if you're watching later. Where do you think the cycle top's going to be? What month next year? Or do you think it's going to be this year? What month do you think the cycle top's going to be, and what price point range? Give me about a $20,000 range. Curious to see what y'all's thoughts are here. Everybody, we got my daddy-o's in the house, Mr. Silky, Brad Kellum there. Shout out to my pops. Arc Junkie, $19 says, thank you, Kelly. You keep me disciplined. All DC shows getting some of my profits today. Oh, big love to you. I appreciate you. I hope every one of you has learned something from any of the content that I've participated in, whether it's tools, resources, actual putting that to use and making money in this market, taking some of the coins that I've brought to your attention, ONDO, Arrow. I just shared quite a few more in the BitLab Discord coming back from Consensus. We got some new things on our radar, and I'll be doing some more member streams this week. We do have another member stream this afternoon with Alex. Alex Green's going to be hosting that in the BitLab Discord, but so shout out for that. Now jumping back into the charts, let's go ahead and slow it down a little bit. Let's talk about, make sure you're giving me a follow here at Kelly Kellum. Make sure you're spelling it right. And then of course, here at BitLab Academy. And before we jump into the charts, we're going to share some altcoin charts. We're going to share some targets. We're going to share some strategy, but I also want each and every one of you to have the opportunity to make $100 USDT. And head over to this tweet right here. I'm going to go ahead and do this just like this. I'm going to say retweet. If you retweet this tweet, you're entered to win. We're drawing tomorrow $100 So retweet this tweet right there. You get entered to win. We're going to do a random name picker. Currently, there's 23 people on there, so it's still a pretty high probability. So everybody hit that like button on here as well, and let's go. Shout out to Galactics, channel sponsor, one of the best. I mean, reimagining the crypto gaming niche, having RPG style elements with quests and worlds, and the way their entire platform is set up is incredible. And then of course they have all the different games you can participate in, as well as the community that they have. And they just launched June 3rd. So use this code, right? Use this link right here to sign up, get involved with that. Make sure you have your VPN on to protect yourself no matter what you're doing in this space. Now, let's jump in on this data. Let's talk about the levels here. And actually there's something, I don't know why I didn't have it up. Did I skip it? Let me head back over right here. We got something else that we got to talk about, and it's this tweet right where, here we go. There's a little bit of a call for a potential washout to the downside. And I said it yesterday. I said, I'm super bullish on Bitcoin. Caution here for whipsaw, which means down, back up, right? You have a big move up, back down, back up, kind of like a heartbeat. It's meant to clear liquidity to the upside, commit people back, going to the downside, clearing that liquidity, and then clearing it back again. So you're flushing out both longs and shorts. And the reason why this is important is because the open interest right now is ticking up. At the same time, the positive premium is persistent. What the hell is Kelly talking about? This means when this is green on the aggregated premium percentage, open interest weighted average, we're seeing the fees are attributed to longs. So it becomes more, when everybody goes long on leverage, it becomes more expensive to go long on leverage. It costs you money. You have to pay a fee. Because remember, if I have $1,000 and I'm trading 10x, right, a 10x leverage trade, then that 10x means I'm borrowing $9,000 from the exchange. Just like any loan, you have to pay an interest rate on that. And the interest rate is basically, most exchanges take it. It's basically hits your trade, or reduces the amount of margin that you have on there. The seed capital for that trade reduces it every 8 hours. That's when it's hits your account. If you're long while everybody else is long. Now, if you go short here, then those longs are paying for the short. So it incentivizes trying to keep the market as balanced as possible. But this is an exciting market. Everybody wants it to go up, and we see everybody's betting long. Price action is moving up. Everybody's betting long, and they're increasing here. This open interest means that there's more and more money that's being bet, and it's going long. And then we talk about what's going on with this liquidation levels. We do have this tranche of liquidity directly above us, but this has kind of moved a little bit. So let's go ahead and get the updated. So this did move up. It's kind of moving down. It almost feels like the bulls right now want to disregard the liquidity sweep to the downside, but we can't count that out. You have to, as bullish as you are, realize that at any moment, there's a world of things, a world of variables that could send the price the opposite direction from which you are betting. It could be literally a big market maker just trying to sweep liquidity to the downside. Could be a geopolitical impact. It could be, I mean, there's so many different things. Comments from the government, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what the thing is. You just have to be prepared for it. And as we're sitting up here very high, we do have to be prepared if we do get that. Remember, this doesn't suck if it goes down. If you're prepared, it is opportunity if this does go down. Now, let's talk about the bullish case, because who cares about all that risk management nonsense? I want to see the targets to the upside. Well, let's get down. Let's get to it. I mean, this is looking beautiful at the moment. We are hovering, however, excuse me, we are hovering precariously on this zone. If this persists here, the bulls will start to lose confidence, and that's when you get that move starting to come down. If this happens, there's something you want to watch for. If this does move down, you want to watch for this move back up. If this gets rejected here and then you lose this level, that's signaling we may be making that move for that sweep to the downside that we were just talking about. So you can let the chart candles in relationship to the map that you've drawn, meaning the levels and line, for instance, this descending level of resistance, that we're fighting currently, haven't fully yet, but we're fighting currently to confirm now as support. As it stands, I mean, look at all these wicks down below. Wick, bulls keep bringing it back up. But the problem right now on this 4-hour candle is the bulls have sent this up, and even this wick didn't basically break past these highs. And if this closes down in here, we need to start considering the opportunity if this does break to the downside. So what level do we want to watch? So right here, we have the golden pocket right here. I drew it from this candle all the way to the top here. The golden pocket, you can see, is perfectly outlining also where the previous candle top was. So this is a great opportunity zone. If the price does come down here and bounces here, this is still going to be a good opportunity, but we need to pay attention that we don't buy right here 100x long for this to come up. We're so excited we don't take any profits for this to move down like this. That can happen. I'm not saying it will, but we have to be prepared for it. If this does hold this zone, maybe we're creating a bit of a bull flag right in here, and then we break out, then we've already got those targets we've been mapping for quite some time here. And those targets are 74,000. And then we can actually move this down to this line here, 74,000. And then it's going to be all the way up here. We could actually move this down because I adjusted my neckline, about $84,000, $85,000. Now, why? Kelly's making targets up. He's just drawing lines. He likes finger painting because he's a dum-dum. No, I'm looking at historically trends of how patterns play out. These patterns are a map of human psychology, the battle between the bullish and bearish narrative. And sentiment, just like anything, has a pattern and a way it ebbs and flows. Charles Bukowski really started mapping this out many, many, many years ago. I think it's like late 1800s or something like that, because this has always been present. So when we see this is a large inverted head and shoulders. So let's do Option T if you're on PC, Alt T, and then click on the chart, then click again. We've got right there, we have our basically a measured move from the neckline. This is known as the neckline, where you're finding resistance, 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 resistance. Measure from that to the deepest part of the head. And then you get that target up here in this range, $85,000 to $86,000. This is how you measure that move. Now, what is this move right here? What's this random move? Well, we have the smaller triangle here too, symmetrical triangle, and the measured move on this, you measure at the widest point. Now you take this line and then you just move it up like this. So you see the breakout point here measured up goes right to that $74,000. So that's what we're looking to. Now, in terms of 100,000 and beyond, well, when you look at this on a macro level, the story is there. We've got a massive cup and handle here. I mean, you could actually say, I never even really thought about it. It's the same thing, but we got a massive inverted head and shoulders. I mean, it's massive, but let's ignore that. Let's just say it's a cup and then the handle, right? So what you do here is let's do Option T. Let's draw this across. Option T, draw to the deepest point. Now we move this and we go like this. And we see that this has a target up here at $127,000. So Kelly, you're giving me all these different targets. What do we do? This is why it's important to not draw one pattern and say that's the level, because there's so many different things that can impact. We can have our very bullish target. Let's be aware of that, but let's zoom back in. Let's get back, let's go on the 12-hour and say, okay, what do we want to look at here? Because remember, what was it? This chart, right? This one right here, macro, semi-macro bull flag here, target 110. The point being is, let's take it level by level. If you are a long-term holder, then you're looking for buy opportunities. You're looking for these dips, buy, dip, buy. These, 20%. That was 20%. This was 20%. This was about 23%. On a bull trend, you're looking for those buy opportunities. So when we're seeing this, let's go ahead and delete this Fibonacci. We have a number of different targets. Now we know that the target out of this somehow goes directly to challenge where the previous all-time high is. If we can clear this, then let's look at the liquidation heat map and see if there's other information about where, if there's a barrier, if there's where there's going to be potential levels we need to pay attention to in that gap we were just talking about. So, I mean, look at this. There's nothing. Is this a 12-hour, 7-day? So we've got it to 73,600, 74,000. That's the level that we're targeting, right? But we've got to get through. Let's actually do it like this. So we got to get through this. That neckline that we were just talking about is directly above us. A lot of potential liquidations there as people are betting on this to, the people that are shorting are betting on this to go down right in this zone. So we've got, 70, directly, basically the neckline right above us. If we clear this, we've got some color in here, but we get this gap once we get past that $75,000 level. A little bit of a hiccup here at 77, and then nothing until where? All the way up here past 82, 83. So this is telling us right now that the market is feeling and set up for a huge amount of bullish potential. Let's go to Dylan LeClaire's page because he shared this earlier, and we can also see it in terms of realized price distribution, the URPD. There's nothing above us because price has never been there, which means we don't have the overhead. We don't have the overhead holders that have held higher that take profits as price comes back into that, redistributing wealth. This is very bullish. This is why I also said, look, prepare for escape velocity. I am prepared. Are you? But this is what we're seeing on Bitcoin. If we do get a move to the downside, we're watching in the 68 level starts getting a little more midterm bearish, potential larger pull down if we lose $68,000 to $66,000 region. But remember, when we looked at this heat map, we've got a huge amount of stuff. Look at this, 68, and then what's the next one? 66. So the price levels as well as the liquidation levels are both they're agreeing about levels we need to pay attention to. If we sweep down and clear these, and I don't mean just tap this and then launch. I mean, if we come down and lose these and start having acceleration to the downside, then we could talk about further downside. As it stands right now, things are very, very bullish. Let's go ahead and look at Ethereum, and then we're going to look at a couple altcoins. Shout out there. Now, Ethereum, shout out to, I think it was Ethan Smith yesterday, talked about this sort of midterm broadening wedge we have here. Now with the new change with the Ethereum approval, ETF approval, it could negate that, but let's take this one step at a time. That looks like a chub, Rickus Price says. Joshua Sells Fords says, yo, late, but I'm here, fam. Shout out to every one of you that comes here on a daily basis or regularly. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. But Ethereum, let's go ahead and delete this guy right here. Boom. Come on, you can do it. Zoom in on it, I guess. There we go. Look, we had this drawn yesterday. So this is a 6-hour chart, right? We had this drawn before this started rolling over, and I was talking about this breaking out of this symmetrical triangle, potentially coming down and testing in this zone. And why did I draw the arrow to there? It's not just random. I drew the arrow to here because look at the crosshairs on my screen. When I move my mouse down to this level, what do we see? Well, let's do option H. Let's get a horizontal line. What do we see? Rejection, support, rejection, 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 rejection. Are we now flipping it back to support, potentially to make that continuation to the upside? As it stands right now on the 4-hour, money flow is looking a little bit kind of inconsequential at the current moment. But what I do like to see here, when you're trying to catch the directional change on an asset, which is what we're trying to do when we're trading, right? This VWAP, this yellow line right here on the BitLab trend fuel on the bottom, we have the money flow, which is the blue into pink, into blue, negative money flow, positive money flow. Then we have the stochastic RSI and the stochastic and the RSI, which is stochastic is the orange line, the RSI is the pink line. And then we have the VWAP, and then of course these momentum waves, right? So what we're seeing with the VWAP here, you see how it has broken below the 0 line, but this is rounding out, trying to make that move, potentially a setup to make that move back to the upside. Kind of like we saw here, but as you notice, this is closer to the 0 line. And if we can get this rounding out, this means that the market is trying to move the price positive above where that volume weighted average price. That's what we're looking at. So if this happens, this means price will expand to the upside if we can get this move to fully do this. Now, we do see the momentum wave slightly rolling over here, but we've seen in the past, like for instance, let me see if I can find a good example. Like zoom out. So like even right here, you see how this is rolling over? As this rolls over, right here, a peak was at the top of the price action. No, this continued up, but in so doing, as this is pushing up, we're getting some bearish divergences. We see this little red line. So they're showing there's some weakness coming in, and then what happens? We actually get to a trend line, and we actually have that realization of the price action move down. The point being here is when we're looking at where we're at right now, it's not the end of the world that this is starting to potentially roll over. Let's let things develop and see what happens. If we do lose this and come down to the $3,700, if we lose that, then I'm looking at this 3,572, 3,500 region for Ethereum to come back to. But things are, I mean, I could not be more bullish right now. Let's go ahead and look at render. Let's look at some of these AI plays. We had this drawn out. Descending level of resistance. We have, look at this large flat level of support. This was spelling a potential move to the downside. This portion of the pattern right here. Descending resistance, flat support. That is a descending triangle, meaning you have these, again, descending level with a flat level here. This points to typically a breakdown, but the market's very, very bullish right now. And so things are leaning that direction. We got the breakout. This is starting to look a little weakened, but we have the stochastics rolling over. We have, meaning kind of resetting here from potentially another move. We have the VWAP coming down, rolling over. We have positive money flow. Now, what does it look like with the, okay, so here we are on the BitLab trading stack, the intelligence here that has the 20 moving average, which we kind of tried to lose, and now we're sitting back above, but there is a little on a very, very small time frame. This does give me a little caution because what do I say when price action, when we're kind of getting this rolling area, and you see the price action come down and then we get a lower high. If this is the case, I think we're going to come down and test somewhere around this weekly VWAP around 1020, 1029, 1030, which would be kind of segmented between this trend signal line as this rolls out and this weekly VWAP. This is signaling that that move might happen. The candle patterns themselves. If this can consolidate here like this and not get another low beyond this, then this may signal the continuation of the move to the upside. We also see fetch, descending broadening wedge. Look at this. Descending broadening wedge. We fought to get back above this trend signal line and the weekly VWAP, and we're kind of chopping back and forth between the both. Look at this nice move up. That wick, nice move up to that trend line, then rejected. And then what do we get? We have a large M formation right here, which is actually somewhat bearish in the middle of this. This may be signaling we get another sweep low, but if we can hold this zone right here, this may just be setting up this chop out before a move to the upside. The question here, though, is we have negative money flow, which is not good if we're wanting this to bounce to the upside. And we also have stochastics angle down, RSI angle down, more bearishness than bullish or neutral here, which is the red panels on this. And we have the momentum angle to the downside. So what we want to, but we do have the VWAP trying to signal something, but it's not in agreement with any of the other signals. As it stands right now, I'm watching that trend line right there, basically 210, 208, 209. If we lose that, we'll likely be making a bit of a move to the downside there. If we're able to hold this, then we're watching for the next move up to take out this level here at 219, which at this point, let's see, at this point, let's extend this. We got a couple, too many colors on the chart here. There we go. So if we can push up from where we're at right now, then we're looking at price action taking out the weekly VWAP right here at 213. And then look at this. Right in this region is going to be taking out these highs as well as challenging where this trend line is. If we can, once we get out of this, we're going to want some sort of bounce and move to the upside. And this would be about the 221 level on fetch. Near, they got some big things coming. I tell you, we're going to be doing, I think we're going to be doing some stuff with Near. I had a great conversation with one of their business development guys, and this great protocol, great community. Great, I mean, but look at this. We got some reversal signals here on the downside, signaling, trying to make that move up. Price action sliced right through that trend signal line, right through the weekly VWAP, and it's pushed up. And look, we now have a higher high right here. What we need to establish now is a higher low, meaning from this point up, anywhere in this region, this would be a higher low, which is starting to build that case for a potential move continuation attempt for the upside price action. As it stands right now, we're still a little precarious in this zone. We want to watch for a potential bounce somewhere above 735, 740 sort of zone. If we can hold this zone, the intention is bullish. So then you can play that bounce to the upside. Then, of course, BitTensor. How many of you out there hold Tau? Shout out for Tau. Is buy the dip on Kronos new this year? Is buy the dip on Kronos new this year with a small bet? His market cap is still very low. I'll have to take a look at that. Tau, I mean, look at this range. This to me looks like it's set up its bottom. Because remember, this is a newer project. The explosive launch and then the sell-off as the market kind of went a little sideways, right? And this, I mean, look at this. Rounding. We had the reversal. Bullish divergences. This little 3 right here. 3 bullish divergences. We have reversal signal right here, but the price still got suppressed even though we have bullish divergences. And then we have double, look at this, 2 bullish divergences, 2 more bullish divergences, and the price is setting up, trying to move higher. And we see this large move to the downside on momentum. And then what do we get? We get a higher low right here on the momentum while this is trending down. This is suggesting price is moving down while the momentum is giving you a bullish divergence. This is showing a little bit of weakness by the bears, that shifting of the guard from the bears to the bulls. And then what do we get right after that? Price action cuts through this yellow line. I call it, this is like the magic line, the weekly VWAP and the trend signal line. We push up, we test down, and we're pushing higher. This is actually looking quite good. I think I'm going to be doing a video next week on Tau and a couple other really great projects in the Polkadot ecosystem to get you guys in the know. But 4:30, there are some people I heard talk, oh man, I missed it. I should have got in Tau early. It was up here in the high 600s. And look at this nice, I mean, head and shoulders too. Shoulder, head. If this can move up, then what we would have right here is a large head and shoulders. And the target on this would be up here, back testing near the previous all-time highs. So things are feeling good, man. ONDO still making its rippage, just consolidating at the moment. Push up, retest. Push up. We can delete this line now because this is since passed. That was a target. Let's go ahead and turn off the indicators. Double click there to make it. There we go. So this is a level we're watching for because this looks toppy on the small time frame. If this does move down, I'm watching this zone down here in the $1.28, $1.29 zone. And if we lose that, if we lose this, then we're going to be looking at levels probably down in the low $1. But things, I mean, the RWA space is getting more and more attention and the capital flows into this. So I wouldn't really bet on this unless the market as a whole takes a big spill. So I'd be looking for an opportunity if this does sort of lose the level that it's attempting to right now, down at $1.28. Let's look to something else I wanted to show you guys before I go. I don't know. I think Tau is in the dot. I didn't think Tau was in the dot ecosystem. It's its own chain and ecosystem. It is, but it is a parachain built on top of Substrate or something like that. I'm going to do a whole video on it next week. But really great project. How high do you think Injective can get this cycle? Let's see. I'm trying to read the live chat and engage with you folks more often, by the way. I really am. Because sometimes I hate it if I miss super chats. And if somebody super chats a coin they want and then I don't even see it, I feel terrible. So I'm trying to do a better job of reading that live chat. But it's hard when you're a one-man band. You know, you got I got to controlling it with all this scene switching, watching the data on YouTube, looking at the charts, looking at the other information in Discord. What's up, Kelly, brother? How you doing today? This beautiful freaking morning. Good day to be in crypto. Every day is a good day to be in crypto. That is true. So let's go ahead and look over at INJ Injective. Let's see. Let's go to 2 week. Let's go to week. All right. This looks like Bitcoin. This looks like Bitcoin last cycle, right? And then we had the boom, move down. But if we measure this, let's go to the daily, actually. Getting a bunch of emails right now, and I don't know what from. Okay. So we've got option T. Got that sort of base right there. If this is going to be the low, which it seems like it very likely will be, we do option F from the top right here, measure to the downside right there. And I like to look at minimum, the 1.618. That's at $73. But I think things are going to go a lot higher than that. Somewhere, a lot of these altcoins will get into the 3.618s, the 4.618s. It's all going to depend on the capital flow in that altcoin, that alt season. Shout out to Mr. Mark Dutch. How you doing, my friend? But yeah, so, I mean, it's hard to say exactly where it's going to go. Let's look at an older chart with Injective. Let's go Injective Binance. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, so here we go. This is what we can do. We can take an analog last cycle, top, go to the bottom, and see how high this went. You see this one only went up to the 1.618, but this isn't really the market cycle top. So it's hard to say. Yeah, I mean, this is such a strong project. I could see this one really. Let's go actually over here to coinmarketcap.com. Let's go to watch list. I have it on here. Injective. I just want to remind myself what level it is at. Injective. Here we go. So let's look at the data. We got $2.6 billion market cap, $117 million in 24-hour volume, which means how much money was traded and moved. We have 93 million. We have basically 93.4% of the circulating supply is out. So this total supply, over 90% is already in circulating supply. So let's go to all. We can see, let's go to market cap. See, we already pressed into new all-time highs for not only the price, but also market cap when we're on a pullback right now. So it's anybody's guess as to where this could go. But when the alt season really kicks off, I could see this being conservatively, somewhere in the $75 to $100 range. And then on the hyper, everything is just absolutely mooning. You know, it could be up there in the 130s, 160s. We'll have to take this step by step. Shout out to Crypto Pollo 1. I haven't seen you in a minute, my friend. I said, bok, what's up? Gifted 1 membership for BitLab Academy. Shout out. And also shout out again to Arc Junkie for that $20 super chat. Let's see. Now, let's go ahead. Everybody, what other coins you guys want to? We'll do a couple different things. I want to kill the next 10 minutes because I want to throw everybody from this into the DGen Alpha stream right after this at 12:30 with Taco because he shares great data on a lot of the DGen, the meme coins, a lot of stuff there. So you understand how to navigate that because so many people get wrecked not knowing how to navigate that. Beer, what's up? Oh, you want to look at beer? Okay. What is beer? I don't know. Let's see, beer coin. That's funny. There's a lot of beers. Yeah, this is going to be, I do not recommend, but look at this. It does have the nice push up, sell off, and it's trying to make a resurgence. But let's go to KDA, Kadena. I haven't looked at KDA in a minute. So we got Kadena. Let's see, circulating supply, 277 million out of 1 billion. So still relatively low. If we go to all, look at this. I mean, the previous all-time high was up here at over $23, $23. Market cap, you see, we still also have a huge way to pump up as well, which means it hasn't super inflated. Get it on all these different exchanges. Let's look at it on the chart. Let's talk about it. KDA, XYO. All right, so this is Binance. Double click there. Okay, So this is this large move. So what I would do with this, I wouldn't necessarily take this as the analog of where, like I wouldn't necessarily go option F and drag this down and look at this golden pockets up here, because this is an astronomically high thing. What I would do is I'd take a more balanced approach, zoom in on this, and just try to take it level by level from these sort of levels. So we got this level here, option J. We got this zone right here is important. Why? What I'm doing is I'm looking at the crosshairs on my, see the dotted lines that go across? I can move my mouse to and see where we have a lot of, see kind of rejection, a little bit of support, and then just choppiness. But this is exactly where this rejects and roughly about where this is. And in all honesty, what would be better here is to basically take from this top right here to this and sort of create all that channel, and we can move this out. This is going to be an interesting zone when we get into it. This lets us know it's going to be rough waters. Based on previous price action and some tops that rejected, this is going to be rough waters. That's what we're doing. We still have negative money flow, but the VWAP is just bounced strong. We got this long base right here. This looks like it wants to do something. It's holding. So let's talk about what it is. Option F, from the top to the bottom. Look at that. The golden pocket is just slightly below where this rough waters are. 786 is right inside it. So what does this mean for the move? This means for the move that once this gets going, and this is not a small move, you know, this feels small, but that's a 140% move just to this previous range high. And once this is let go right here, once we take out this, where my mouse is, this high and this high, which is defining where this box is, then I think, you know, we start getting into that 1.618 and then up into that 2.618. And remember, these are not small moves. So as this stands right now, this looks like it's bottomed and it's likely going to be making that move. When the market gets set free, that's 120, 130% move. The 1.618 is 220%. The 2.618 is up here at 384%. Now remember, when you're doing these targets, it doesn't mean price is going to go there. You have to take it level by level, level by level. And we want to watch really for this money flow to actually tick back positive. And what we can see here is that this is starting to arc that direction. When we get down to the 4 hour, let's see where the money flows on this. So it's trying to go positive, comes back negative. So it's almost like there's a little bit of suppression. Nobody's letting it go lower because there's buys holding that floor. But as it tries to push up, there's kind of a little bit of, they're waiting for the gates on this market to get set free. So that's what we're looking at. And then we also saw, Amon Perry. I was just doing it very quickly on CoinMarketCap. It just showed that it was 28, and that's going to be on the daily candle close. So there probably was a wick that went higher for sure. And let's see, on my first Heineken as we speak, shout out to you for that. But everybody, I think that's all I got for today. I do want to shout out. I'd love to get more of you involved here in the BitLab as real, dedicated community members. Become a BitLab member on the YouTube. It's a great way to help support the channel. We do the private members content that we do in the Discord for the deeper memberships. You get access to those member streams. I share them on the BitLab Academy page. And all you members, if you haven't yet, check this regularly, this community tab. If you're a member, you'll see different links that I'm sharing for members only streams, and you can watch along live or later whenever you want. And then of course, if you want to get deeper and go through the BitLab Academy courses, or you want to get into the Discord where we share all those signals and we share charts and breakdowns. And I mean, even the chart request area where you can, ask specifically for different charts to be charted and broken down, scalps, gym calls, altcoin spot trade. There's so much in here. I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you want to take advantage of that, head over to Lab, because this deal is going to be going away very shortly. It's essentially a deal around that Bitcoin halving. I just left up, and it's right there in the live chat, lab.bitlabacademy.com/Kelly. You'll also see it on the last page of this. And again, remember, when you're trading and you're doing everything that you do in this market, make sure that you protect your assets. The best cold storage wallet out there. I absolutely love this wallet. It's the one that I use. It's a one tap. You pull out your card once you get it, and you put this card You tap it, you pair it with an application on your phone. If you lose this, it doesn't matter because everything is tied in with your biometrics, your PIN code, also the hardware device, and all those things being paired up. So it's basically isolates and prevents you from having those issues. Like when I had $30,000 stolen out of my Coinbase account last year. Remember that? It's why you need to have something like Arculus. Head over to getarculus.com. Use code LAB10. That's LAB10 for 10% off. Make sure you protect yourself so you don't wreck yourself. That's all I got for you today, guys. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. And we got to sing it. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for being here. Thank each and every one of you for being our friends. We're going to make so much money in this market if you do it right. Get educated. Adios, everybody. Heading over to Taco Stream, DJ Alpha now.